Most gracious, most merciful, ladies and gentlemen, shareholders, attendants, and our dear guests, I would like to welcome you to this meeting, and I would like to express on behalf of myself and the members of the Board of Directors for our deep appreciation for your attendance of this meeting, and I'm also very happy to meet with you once again to attend this ordinary AGM and the presentation related to the results ending on 31st of December 2025. That will be presented by Sheikh Aldana Al Sabah. That will be presented at the end of the AGM. Before we discuss the agenda, we would like to thank God and pray for our losses that have been incurred due to the latest expenses. And we would also like to bless God for the perseverance of peace amongst people who live on this giving land. We would like to make sure that the attendance for the AGM is 75.87 of all shares, and thus a quorum has been decided. We will begin with the review of the agenda and its articles that will, for the fiscal year 31st December 2025. We will begin with the first item. The review and the ratification of the Board of Directors report for the financial year ended 31st of December 2025. As you know, that the Board of Directors is mentioned in the annual report and has been published on the website of the corporation. Does anybody have any objection? No. The second article of the agenda is the review and ratify of the auditor's report for the financial year ended 31st December 2025. If there are any comment from Mr. Naif Abzia, is there any comment from the board of men? None. We will move now to Article 3 of the agenda. Review and ratify the corporate governance report and audit committee report for the financial year ended 31st. As you know, the copies are available in the annual report and is published on the official website of the report. Has anyone who has reviewed it has any comments? No, then we move along. Article 4, review and ratify the financial statements for the financial year ended 31st of December 2025. As you know that we have reviewed the financials, and now we leave the floor to Ms. Adana for responding to questions with regards to financial statements for the financial year 31st of December 2025. Are there any queries from the attendants? No. Then we move to item 5, review the regulatory authorities report on violations observed and subsequent penalties, if any, for the financial year ending 31st December 2025. We thank God that there were no violations or penalties incurred during the fiscal year. Article 6, discussion of the Board of Directors' recommendation to distribute the free bonus shares for the fiscal year ending 31st December at the rate of 3% of the outstanding shares using the available treasury shares, i.e. 3 shares for every 100 shares at the record date, and authorize the Board of Directors to dispose the remaining fractional shares after distribution. The bonus shares shall be distributed to be included in the company's shareholders' records as per the dates mentioned here. Would you like me to review the table, or is it clear for you? Ladies and gentlemen, my dear partner, you must understand that this 3% reflects that the financial situation of the company is solid and paves the way for a sustainable future for the company, and these positive indicators will continue in the future. And I would like to thank to the executive management headed by Sheikh Adana for their honest and persistent efforts during this past year. Article 7 of the agenda, discussion of the approval of the disbursement of the amount of 50,000 KD as remuneration for the members of the Board of Directors for the fiscal year 31st of December. No objections. Then we move to number 8, approval of the Board of Directors proposal to allocate 10% of the net profits for the fiscal year for the year ending 31st of December amounting to 1,638,167 KD only to the statutory reserve account. No objections. We move to Article 9, approval of the related party transactions report for the year ended 31st of December 2025 and authorizing the Board of Directors to conduct related parties transactions during the financial year 2026 and until the date of the annual General Assembly for the financial year ended on the 31st of December 2026. If the report for transactions, related party transactions is available in the annual report and on the website. Is there any objection? No. Then we move ahead to Article 10, approval to authorize the Board of Directors to issue bonds or sukuks directly, indirectly, or in any form, nature, or means denominated in Kuwaiti dinars or any other currency it deems appropriate within the limits outlined by the law, and authorizing the Board of Directors without limit or restriction to determine the sum of these bonds and or sukuk, their type, tenure, par value, coupon, and or profit rate, maturity rate, and all other terms and conditions as per Law 7 of the year 2010 and its executive bylaws and their subsequent amendments after obtaining approval from relevant regulatory authorities. If there is no objection, we move to Article 11. Authorize the Board of Directors to buy and sell and dispose with more than 10% of the company's shares according to the Articles of Law number 7 for the year 2010 and its executive bylaws and its subsequent amendments. If there are no objections, we move to Article 12. Discuss the allocation of 1% of the net profit of the financial year ending 31st of December 2025 for donation to charity organizations through the Masharia Al-Khair charity organization. As you know, the Masharia Al-Khair charity organization is an outstanding non-profit organization and has a long path of serving charity activity. If no objection, we move to Article 13. Discuss and discharge the Board of Directors from any liability for their financial, legal, and administrative actions during the financial year ended 31st of December 2025. If there is no objection, we move to Article 14. Discuss the appointment or reappointment of Mr. Naif Mohammed Bazir Al Yassin from RSM Al Bazir & Co. as the company's auditors from the CMA's list of approved auditors in the financial year ending at 31st of 2026 and authorizing the Board of Directors to approve their fees. If there is no objection, there is a recommendation from the Audit Committee to reassign Mr. Mohammed Bazir Al Yassin from RSM Al Bazir & Co. as a company auditor for the fiscal year 2026. We hope that he is successful in his endeavors. Is everyone agreed? Yes. You deserve all the best, Mr. Bazia. And now we move to Article 15 of the agenda, election of the Board of Directors for the next 3 years for the fiscal years 2026 to 2029. This is the last item of the agenda, and this is available for those who have attended and those who have assigned those with proxies to represent them, and everyone who has been appointed to the appoint have adhered to the laws of the CMA and the Ministry of Commerce and adhere to the articles of association of the company. And on the screen you will find the names of the members that have been nominated, whether non-independent or independent. As you can see, all the names are in front of you on the screen. We begin with Sheikh Hamad Sabah Al Ahmed, non-executive, Sheikh Abdullah Nasser, non-executive, Sheikh Dana is an executive member, Sheikh Habibi Nasser Sabah Al Ahmed is a non-active, and independent members include Mr. Abdullah Yaqub Bishara, Ms. Intisar Abdurrahman Suwaidi, and Mr. Abdul Hakim Abdul Fatah Marifi. They are all independent. We are now opening the floor for votes. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, we would like to inform you of the results of both the physical and uh, voting. The quorum was 75.85, and this the members of the board that have been appointed for the fiscal year 2026-2029. The names are as I mentioned previously. We have to just give the numbers, every number of every Abdullah Sabah, 2,900,000 shares. Sheikh Hamad Sabah Al Ahmad, 2515 and 174. Sheikh Adana Sabah, 2,917,174. Sheikh Habibi Sabah, 2,915,704 174 shares. The independent, Mr. Abdullah Yashub Bidar, 2,197,404 and Ms. Intisar Abdurrahim Suwaidi, the independent member, is also the same number of shares, uh, same number of votes. Now we will leave the floor to Sheikh Adana. We are talking about billions rather than millions of shares, and I apologize. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, dear shareholders, dear attendants, may God's peace and presence be upon you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the annual general meeting of the Kuwait Projects Holding Company, KIPCO. I would also like to extend my sincere appreciation for your continued trust and support of the company and its pathway to success. The year 2025 was marked by ongoing economic and financial challenges, including financial volatility at both regional and global levels. Despite this, KIPCO, through its disciplined institutional approach, once again has demonstrated the strength of its business model, the resilience of its financial position, and its ability to adapt to changing conditions while safeguarding shareholders' interests. The strategic decisions taken by the board of directors over the past few years, particularly the emphasis on financial prudence and prioritizing sustainability over short-term gains, have played a key role in strengthening the company and enhancing its readiness to navigate the current environment, which we believe will only be temporary. The decision not to distribute dividends over the past 3 years was driven by a commitment to preserving shareholder value and reinforcing the company's financial strength. This has enabled us this year to reward shareholders through a treasury share distribution, reaffirming our commitment to delivering sustainable value and returns to them. At the same time, the group continues to operate normally, with our portfolio companies maintaining steady performance and recording positive indicators of moderate growth across several key sectors, including financial service sector, the education sector, the logistics services sector, and oil services sector. We have seen promising opportunities in our regional banking investments, which we believe hold strong to medium to long-term growth, with potential as with significant potential as emerging markets regain their stability. We look to the future with confidence and optimism, supported by a diversified asset base, disciplined management, and a clear vision to strategy that balances risk management with the pursuit of opportunities. We firmly believe that the coming years will be better with God's blessings, which will positively reflect on the group's performance and shareholder returns. Before I move to my presentation, I would once again like to express my appreciation to your continued trust and support, and I continue to reaffirm our commitment to working diligently and responsibly to enhance the company's value and serve the best interests of our shareholders. We will now move to the presentation that will review the financial performance of the corporation during the fiscal year 2020-25. KIPCO's results for this fiscal year reflect a strengthened portfolio performance that has allowed for the distribution of 3% stock, where the total revenue has increased 3.1% in comparison to 2024, and an increase in the net profit by 4.4% over the year 2024, where the total assets have also increased 6.5%, and shareholders' equity has increased by 1.7%, and the book value of every share has increased by 2.2%. The most important performance highlights for 2025, we have taken the revenues as our benchmark. As you can see on the screen, Jordan Kuwait Bank has a net interest income increase of 23%, Sadafco 5%, KIPCO Invents 17%, Bergen Bank net interest income 13%, and Remy OSM Plus revenue has increased by 9%. The United Educational Company revenue has increased 1.4%. ATC has decreased by 11%. JTC has increased by 14%, and PESCO Oil Services is 49%, which reflects the solidness of our financial sector. The most important events of 2025 was the proactive resolution of liabilities and their our activities to manage our liabilities, where we were managing the euro bonds, and we were proactive, where we presented an offer to buy all the outstanding, where only 30% only have agreed, and 70% have maintained their ownership of our euro bonds, which means that our investors who own these bonds, they are believing in KIPCO's responsibility to pay on time. This was part of our proactive movement, which reflects the solid base that KIPCO stands on with regards cash flow and liquidity. And this is one of the most important highlights. When we are looking ahead, we are looking at our resilience today in order to be positioned for tomorrow. In a changing environment, KIPCO remains focused on resilience, disciplined execution, long-term value creation across its diversified portfolio. Thank you very much for your continued trust. Your trust remains with us at heart, and if anyone has any questions about the